What do you think is wrong with these sentences? I love to read books. I read a new one every week. I have two brothers. They are both younger than me. Alice was pleased with her work. Ben was completely dissatisfied. Each of these three sentences are written in a non- or ungrammatical way. All three are examples of run-on sentences, and a run-on sentence is really two sentences that should be separated by the appropriate or correct punctuation or a conjunction. So it is two main clauses that have not been separated correctly. In the first example, I love to read books, I read a new one every week. We clearly have two main clauses. The first one, I love to read books, and the second main clause, I read a new book every week, or a new one every week. There is nothing there to join them. It is a clear run-on sentence. Example 2 has a comma, but this is also incorrect. This is a comma splice. We cannot use a comma to join two main clauses, like I have two brothers, they are both younger than me. Can you think of a way that we could correct each of these two sentences? What could we use instead? What punctuation could we use to join two main clauses, remembering we cannot use a comma? Or what conjunctions could we use to make these two sentences correct? One possibility for the first one is to use the subordinating conjunction so. I love to read books, so I read a new one every week. In the second example, we can use a semicolon. A semicolon is commonly used to join two main clauses. I have two brothers, they are both younger than me. Now we can use a semicolon in this instance because the second main clause is related to the first clause. We wouldn't use a semicolon to join two unrelated or unconnected main clauses. Let's have a look at another example. I love to read books, I read a new one every week. So we'll go through other possibilities of how we can correct this sentence. So we have already said we cannot use a comma to join two main clauses. This is a comma splice. We can turn it into two simple sentences as well. I love to read books. I read a new one every week. We've also seen now that we can join these two main clauses with a semicolon because the two main clauses are related. I love to read books. I read a new one every week. The second main clause follows on from the main one, but is still separated there by a semicolon. And finally, we can use a subordinating conjunction. I love to read books, so I read a new one every week. Okay, so to go over it again, a run-on sentence is really two main clauses or two sentences joined or not joined at all. The second sentence literally runs into the first one. If we connect two main clauses with a comma, that is a comma splice, which is also an incorrect way of punctuating our sentences. We can turn it into two simple sentences, join the two main clauses with a semicolon, or connect them with a conjunction. In today's exercise, you will have in the first set 5 incorrectly written run-on sentences. He knew he had to go into the scary house. He had to find his friend. Okay, it has been written there with a comma, so it's an instance of a comma splice. You need to correct it in the second column. And remembering from the information before, you have 3 different ways of correcting a run-on sentence. So choose the one that you think would work best for this sentence. Sentence 2, it was dark in the room. Adam tried to look inside. Number 3, Adam wondered why he had come today. It had been all Jake's idea. Number 4, the room was dark, the air was damp and musty. And sentence 5, it had all been a joke. Jake wanted to make us laugh. Remember to go back to this slide in the video if you need a reminder of how to fix the run-on sentences. And if you feel like you are up for an extra challenge, there are 4 additional sentences similar to the first 5, in only that they have an extra clause this time. So you may have to turn it into three simple sentences, or you may have to turn it into one simple sentence and then one sentence with two main clauses. Okay, there was a loud noise, Adam was scared, he wanted to leave. So these four sentences each have three parts to it. What do you think would be the best way to correct them?